Welcome everyone to our Friday Toastmasters meeting. The theme of the meeting is determination, and the word of the day is neoteric. That means a new or modern, stylish, recent, state-of-the-art, strange, unique, original, a modern person who advocates new ideas. An adverb would be neoterically. So I've never heard that word. All right. So my theme is determination, and I came up with it just out of the blue. I was watching some shows about startup companies and made me think, have you ever had inspiration like in unexpected places? So a long time ago, I was like 17. I took a bus with my friend up to Northern California to see my sister. And oh, sorry, I have someone's knocking at the door. let me real quick. Hey, sorry.
Okay, hey, so with that, I do have one announcement while we're waiting for Pat. And the biggest announcement is we do have our elections coming up, and we've got all the positions that are open as far as president, VP of PR, VP of marketing, I'm sorry, VP of membership, VP of membership and VP of PR and secretary and sergeant at arms. So just doing an extra shout out, we would love to get some candidates. Try not to look at left, try not to look at the right side and expect somebody else to volunteer. Look at yourself and say, I can do it, you can count on me. So if you could volunteer, that'd be awesome. I know everybody has time commitments, and I would say we're a very flexible organization, and we would work with your schedule. We just want to have some folks step up, and that would be awesome. We're going to have the election in 2 weeks, so if we can have anybody just let me know, that'd be fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton back to Pat.
Thanks, Deanna. Appreciate you taking over for a second. Those maintenance guy was asking about some plumbing stuff, but it's all good. So anyway, determination. Long story short, I went up there to visit my sister and see a concert. The bus was late, so I missed the concert. And this is back in the 90s, so there was no cell phones, no nothing. I ended up like hitchhiking and just walking, and I was determined to find my sister. And that same day I found her like out in the middle of, she lived back in the redwoods. So it was kind of amazing that I met some friends of hers and just met some local musicians, and I was determined and I trusted that I would find her. And so that was cool. On another note, I'll try to make it quick. I have to do this video project, and I wanted to make it cool. And in order to do that, I had to learn some graphics. So I'll show you just a quick sample of it and see how you like it. There's the graphic. It's like an audio animation. So do that stop that real quick. And so anyway, it took me like 5 hours to find the right YouTube video to figure that out. I thought I would be an hour or two, but I was determined to at least try and make it work. And so sometimes I know we've all had lost a lot this year, but it shows our determination that we can still trust that everything will be okay, and we'll figure it out. So with that, I'll open it up to our first speaker of the day is Devin. Well, first I'll introduce the roles. There will be Anita is our table topics master. Christiana is our joke master. Tammy is our ah counter. Paul is our grammarian. Stacy is our timer. And Lucille is our general evaluator. Christiana, do you want to go ahead with the joke of the day? Please.
Let's unmute.
Okay, I'm on unmute. All right. These jokes are not 100% maybe politically correct, depending on where you sit on the fence as far as technology goes. But they're really relevant to me. They're funny to me because of where I work at Qualcomm. So I apologize if these offend anybody who have strong opinions about technology, but it's not too bad. There's no offensive words. All right. What do anti-vaxxers and 5G conspiracists have in common?
I don't know.
They're both afraid of improving cell service. Another one. I got a couple more. I got my second jab of Pfizer yesterday. I thought I'd be waking up with 5G, but instead I feel like I'm waking up with dial-up. All right, last one. They're so bad, they're funny, right? 5 gangsters calmly walk into a bar. Immediately, Karen rushes up to them and starts yelling at them to get out. What are you doing? Yells the bartender. They haven't been here for more than 2 minutes. Well, Karen reports, I heard that 5Gs are bad for the environment. Bye-bye.
All right.
I tried.
Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Right, awesome.
You gave us 3. That's really good.
Yeah, so you got the trifecta. All right. Now, our first, I'll introduce our first speaker, Devin. Her speech is titled "My Mentors." The objective is to share the impact and importance of having a mentor. It's a level 2, project 3, be 5 to 7 minutes, and her evaluator is Deanna. Please welcome Devin. My mentors, Devin.
So what does Glinda the Good Witch, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Gandalf have in common? Besides being fictional characters, they are all mentors to the heroes in their stories. And a mentor character has a very important role. In my work in book publishing, we study storytelling techniques a lot. And the same storytelling techniques that work for fiction apply to nonfiction. And all stories have some truth in them, which is why they're so important in our culture. And what the mentor character does in a story is they guide the hero and they give them advice. And usually if there's some sort of quest or journey they're going to go on, they start them down the path. And then an interesting thing happens. The mentor character usually disappears for some reason. And the hero has to go it alone. So they have to take what the mentor taught them and apply it themselves, a little trial and error, and they learn the lesson. And then in the final act, the mentor usually reappears to give them that final boost of confidence and encouragement to ultimately win the day. And though that is fiction, it applies to what we learn in nonfiction and in real life. And there's been several mentors in my life that really help illustrate that point. And that is, you lost me there for a minute, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm in my new house, you guys. This is the first time I'm doing Zoom here. How far back did you lose me? Now I can.
About 30 seconds or so. Maybe if you want to, I heard that if you stop your video, we can just hear the audio and it'll be faster.
Okay.
You can start from the beginning if you want. I mean,
Yeah, try it again. Try it again.
With video or without video?
With video.
We can hear you now. We can hear and see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It actually might help if you guys stop your video.
Oh, okay.
yeah, let's
I was gonna
More
say,
than
let's
mine.
turn off our video.
all turn off our video.
Sorry. Okay. So what do Glinda the Good Witch, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Gandalf all have in common? Besides being fictional characters, they're all the mentors to the heroes in their stories. And I study a lot of storytelling technique in my job in book publishing. And the mentor character has a very important role to fulfill. And that is to guide and advise the hero, start them on their path and their journey. And then they typically disappear for a little while so that the hero can then go it themselves, apply the lessons they learned, often with some trial and error. And then ultimately, as it gets towards the conclusion and the final act, the mentor reappears to give them that final kind of boost of encouragement and advice so that they ultimately can win the day. And while that is fiction, I think it really illustrates what a great mentor does in real life. And I've had several in my life, but I want to kind of highlight two and how they have helped me on my journey and my path. So Henry and Mark, they are actually many things in my life. They are the co-founders of Indie Books International, so they are my bosses. Henry is also my father, so family business. They've been coaches, friends, all of those things. But where they really helped me as mentors has been in that kind of guidance role. And I'll share kind of two examples of how that happened. So in 2013, when they were looking to start Indie Books International, they came to see me in Seattle, where I was living and working at the time, and pitched me on this idea. They were looking for somebody that could be kind of the back end operations control tower person. And I said, well, this sounds really great and I'm interested, but I had one condition, which was I never want to do any public speaking. And the reason that was a condition was that they are both professional speakers and they do a lot of speaking to promote business and to teach. And at that point, I was like, I do not want to do that. I do not want to be you guys. To which they agreed. But what I didn't know then was that they knew that I just wasn't ready and that pushing it would be the wrong way to get me on that path. So they waited for probably about a year until I came to them and said, I love this business. I can see this as my forever career. And eventually, way down the line, when you guys are ready to retire, I would love to take it over from you. So what do I need to do to fill that role? And that's where they started with the speaking. And they gave easy steps. So start with 5 minutes, talk for 5 minutes at one of our presentations. I got a little more comfortable with that. Then they recommended I join Toastmasters. And they said, that is the organization that's really going to get you where you want to go. It's going to help you build the confidence that you need as you work through this. So I joined. And even that, they made sure they gave me kind of easy steps along the way. They start with one meeting, see if you like it. After that, start with the first speech, the first manual, and then just see what you want to do and where you want to go with it. And that's been an interesting journey, and I'm still here today because it proved to be invaluable, and I highly recommend it to anybody that has kind of career goals that have you speaking in any way. But then after that, the next kind of step in my process was to take on more of a front-facing role with our acquisitions. So in book publishing, there's something called an acquisitions editor. They kind of vet potential authors. As a book publisher, we do not publish every book that comes our way. We have a kind of standard we're looking for. We also have a niche. We are focused very much on business books, so it has to fit. We have to be a good fit for them. They have to be a good fit for us. And that's what we're looking for. But that was a big step for me to be able to do those kind of meetings. And again, they gave me encouragement at the right time. So they waited till I was ready. And then it was kind of baby steps into the process. So first was just shadowing Henry on all those calls, and then doing them together, and then eventually taking over. And I've been doing that for the past year. And it's been a big growth step for me along the way. But without their encouragement, I never would have gotten there. But also, if they had insisted or pushed, I probably wouldn't have done it. Because I think what a really great mentor knows how to do is teach and then step back and let the person and the protege grow and try it themselves and experience that. So in conclusion, I'll just circle back to The Wizard of Oz. In The Wizard of Oz, at the very end, for Dorothy to go home, Glinda tells her, all you have to do is click your heels 3 times and say, there's no place like home. And she says, why didn't you tell me that at the beginning? And Glinda's answer is, you wouldn't have believed me. You needed to learn the lessons on the path to really believe and be ready. So that is what a mentor does. They let you learn it yourself, and they help you when you need it. They don't do it for you. So that's what I encourage everybody. If you don't have one yet, a mentor is very important, but look for somebody that will help you in that way. And ultimately, they will help you fulfill your journey and win the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. That was an awesome speech. I love the ending. And we will now take 1 minute for evaluations. About 30 seconds. Right, about 10 seconds. It's interesting, the table topics is keeping up with technology, and we're having our challenges today. All right, now our next speaker is Angel. This will be a impromptu speech, non-manual speech. And is it oh, is it?
No, it won't be actually. It's my icebreaker. So it's the first one of the first thing. Yeah, Deanna said last week I had to do icebreaker. I sent you some info last night. So I did it properly. I filled out the form with the info on it.
Oh, great.
Actually did the form.
Sorry, I must have missed that. It was 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and Jerry will be her evaluator. This is Angel with the icebreaker. Icebreaker, Angel. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I've just found this wonderful thing that proves to you that I am an alien. I truly am an alien. I'm from another alien place. And it's very interesting to get the opportunity to introduce myself again, because I've been here quite a long time. There are lots of things on this form, reasons for joining Toastmasters. I hope the reason will soon become clear. And also my goals, which I plan to tell you at the very, very end, 7 minutes from now, if you can hang in there that long. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for this opportunity. Now, I've been an officer in the past. I've been a VP of Education, and indeed, even a past president of this very club. And I love this club. I named my first photography business after Expression Unlimited, where I worked in fashion and boudoir, but I have a new one now, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And it has my own name, Angel Britt. Now, who is that? Who is Angel Britt? Well, Angel was a name that was come up by popular opinion upon my birth at a London hospital. Apparently, I was very white, never cried, and had a little halo of hair that was all fluffy. And my parents went along with it, which is just as well they had another baby later, because my mum named the first one, my dad named the last one, and I was in the middle. So the Angel bit stuck, and then the Brit part. I guess you could probably try to guess where that came from. You might be wrong though, because it was a name that was given to me, Brighter. It was short for Brighter. And the Miss Brit was short for Mystery, Brighter, because apparently I was brighter than the average model. And that's not difficult, I can tell you. Well, my name for my dog is named after something special too. So by way of introduction, Mr. Snooky is named after the game of snooker, which was my dear dad's favorite game, along with chess, of which he was a master. And snooker is like pool, if you don't know, it's a game of strategy. And so unlike myself, I come from a family of strategists. And why did I love Toastmasters so much? Well, I think Stacey had a strategy when she brought me along. I was very impressed by Paul because he was the Toastmaster, and of course he was wonderful. And it was the only place that Stacey took me where no one asked me right off the bat to invest a whole ton of cash. So I joined, and I hoped that I would learn to speak like you guys, or at least I'd be understood. How am I doing? I haven't developed an American accent yet, but I try to limit my vocabulary so that I don't use words no one understands. And if you're sitting comfortably, I'll tell you a little story. My brief for my icebreaker asked me for 4 main points. Number 1 is that I traveled around the world a lot from an early age with London as my home until I finally moved to my favorite place in 2005. Any guesses where that was? And you know, I'm the middle child of 3 girls, and I've struggled with some health issues through all of my life, really. But I did become a fitness and then a wellness coach. And fundamentally, I am a teacher of young children using music and art and science for early learning. And I had to drop my plans to teach in California. It seems they didn't really need me. And they get up so darned early here. But I'm an artist, and I love theatre and I love art and creating modeling, which I used to do years ago for yoga. And when I came too old to do it, I decided to create, and I worked very hard to create a photography business, which used to be Expressions Unlimited. But now I had to change it. I was challenged. No more lovely models, no more studio work, No more adoring crowds of photographers because of, COVID. So since 2019, it's been solo stuff, my business headshots and family work. Well, of course, I love young children. And I used to be a professional story reader. Well, those were the days when you could drop your child off with some random stranger in the foyer of a shopping mall and come back an hour later to pick them up, or 2 hours later in some cases. I don't think you could do that these days. But I love children and I wanted to keep working with them. I wanted to photograph them, and I love the way that the parents always love how they look. They don't want to change anything and Photoshop themselves like the models do. So I thought, yes, I will work with the ordinary Joe. Boy, are some of them ordinary. It's hard to make some of them look good, you know, or look like models anyway, but generally I seem to have a knack for it. I dropped the old name of Expression Unlimited Photography and I embraced the new name Angel Brit. So I have angelbrit.com. But wait, hold the presses, I was hacked. Now it has to be Angel Brit Photography. And unfortunately, I can never type the word photography and get the spelling right. So that's another challenge for me. And you know, some of my skills are excellent, but they're only in a very few obscure areas. So if you need an astrologer or a garden sculptor, or you like a poet or someone to lay a table properly, I'm your girl. Or maybe you want an English coach, Pilates instruction, or maybe an expert in early childhood education. I used to have a website called Miss Brit, Help Me with My Kids. I never really publicized it. Maybe that day will still come. I don't know if that's to be. A super nanny already has much bigger balls than I'll ever have. So I'll probably be sticking to making beautiful images on the beaches and the lovely parks of Oceanside and Carlsbad. And finally, after multiple attempts to prove that I do exist, alien though I may be, I've secured a Google business page. Please go there. Some people help you out and recognize that it's hard to succeed in a new country or create a business, live and work all on your own. And some people don't want to help you out. But at Toastmasters, we excel in helping each other's out, don't we, really? So that's why I love Toastmasters and I love you all. And so my reason for being here continues, and my goal is really to become and remain part of something valuable and give back what skills I can, so that this little alien can one day become the Toastmaster that she always could be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel. That was very enlightening on your persona. And we will have 1 minute for evaluations.
Oh, I'll put you, okay, Angeles, I'll give you the page.
About 30 seconds.
No, I'll get it. I'll give you the shortcut. I'll give it to everyone.
About 10 seconds. Yeah, you can put your email in chat for we can send evaluations, please. Thanks, Angel.
I'd rather get the 5-star reviews, baby. Start my business off. This should go there.
Thank you. And can I get a timers report from Stacy? Angel, can you mute your mic, please?
I thought I was. Angel had 7 minutes and 15 seconds, and I believe 7:30 is past, right? Is too long. So 7:15 is qualified, right?
Yeah.
And Devin had 7 minutes and 21 seconds. So they both qualified.
Awesome. Right. You can all just keep in your mind who you want to vote for a speaker, and then we'll put up the survey later. I will now introduce our general evaluator, Lucille. Welcome, Lucille.
Thank you, Pat. Our first evaluator, who will be evaluating Devin, is Deanna. Deanna, please.
Okay, thank you, Lucille. Devin, that was a great speech. I love how you started the beginning with those characters, and we all know those characters. They're very, very popular characters, and to try to put them together, it would have been interesting to figure out why they were all related. But we all knew it was mentors because Pat gave us the hint from the title. Maybe in that case, not have the title just to surprise us a little bit more. I don't know. But anyway, the technology we know was an issue, and I could tell in the beginning it seemed a little bit glitchy, so I wasn't too sure if it was because you were sensing something from the technology or maybe that's the computer system. But congratulations on your new place. That's always exciting. It's also good to practice the technology, and that's what we're here for. So now you know that the technology is a little iffy. I was impressed that you did your speech while you were standing. And also I was impressed that during the whole session, you didn't have filler words. You just paused. And you're really, really good about pausing and not defaulting to the ums and the ers. So good job with that. You also appeared a lot more comfortable as the speech went on. And I think part of it is because you started to talk more about the story of your mentors and it got more personal. So that was good. If there was anything to challenge yourself, I would say you might want to try a little bit more vocal variation. And I love the conclusion, fantastic conclusion, how you tied everything all back together. Excellent story and a good reminder that we have to go through our challenges to believe in ourselves to improve. So good job.
Thank you, Deanna. Our second evaluator is Jerry, who will be evaluating Angel. Jerry, please.
Thank you, Lucille. Great job, Angel. I thought, it's tough doing an icebreaker after you've been a member for so long, but I did one, recently too. And I think it's important because the members have changed and people don't always know who you are and your background. I thought your speech was very good in terms of you're very honest. You're talking about different things, what you think of things, what you've done, your history of, where you came from, and the photography and all that. So I thought that it was very interesting. And for people that don't know you, it does give them a really glimpse into what your life is like and what your thoughts are. I think as far as feedback in terms of the speech, I probably would have liked to seen a better introduction, maybe like, saying this is what I'm going to talk about or whatever, and a conclusion. That would have been, I think, nice to have a conclusion. I did like the way you really promoted Toastmasters. You really plugged Toastmasters and how, you really love the club and what you've done with it and how it's helped you and all of that. So I think that really is important for people. And that really is probably, the message of your speech would be about, how Toastmasters has helped you improve. But I think the other part of it is just talking about your personal take on things. And that's what an icebreaker is. This is who I am. And you did that very well. You accomplished the "this is who I am" part of the speech. So thank you.
Thank you. Vote for
Thank
me.
you, Jerry. Back to our Toastmaster, Pat.
Thank you, Lucille. Can I please have a timer's report for the speech evaluators? Stacy?
Yes, you may. I apologize because I forgot what the actual timing for the evaluators is. Is it green at 1.5? And is it, I forget the times. I should have looked them up.
1 minute, I think Paul is saying. Yeah, 1 minute is
1 minute is green. Okay. So
1:15.
yellow.
The 1:30 is yellow, and then
1:15.
1:45 is red.
Okay, so Deanna had a 2 minute and 5 second time, and Jerry had 1 minute 25. So did Deanna run over? If
No,
it's
it's a 1 to 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, so no, she
Okay.
qualified. They
So
both
they
qualified.
both qualified then.
Cool. All right. So keep track of
Okay.
who you want to vote for the evaluator for later. And now I will introduce our table topics master, Anita. The topic is, I'll let her introduce it. Please welcome Anita.
Thank you, Pat. It's so nice to see everybody. And it's interesting how this whole meeting has kind of moved along with our theme, which is, or the table topics, what we're going to be talking about. And it's technology and keeping up with it. Not with way out there technology, but with the everyday stuff. The word of the day, just as a reminder, is neoteric. And it was a new word for me. I'd never heard it before or used it, although it's been around for centuries. But I really liked it, so I'm going to be using it a lot myself. But it means modern, stylish, recent, state of the art. It can even mean strange or different, original. And don't forget, it can also be an adverb, neoterically. We all kind of grow into technology around us, but some of us are really, really into it. And I just went up and visited my son up in Washington State, and he's one of the people that are really into it. So the contrast between him and me kind of made me think of this topic. Because the minute I got into his car, when he picked me up at the airport, it's like a futuristic cockpit of some aircraft. There's lights and buttons, and it's all electronic. But the really fun thing is when he tried to teach me how to drive it. Well, actually, every time I go up there, he has to reteach me how to start the dang thing and turn it off, because it doesn't even have a key. The speedometer is in the windshield. I mean, whoever thought of that? And the gears are just so different, you can't even feel them moving. But so I was wondering, what do you think about all the new cars? And are there any features in those new cars that you really, really enjoy and depend on? How about Christiana?
Thank you, Anita. What is the word of the day?
Neoteric.
Neoteric. It's a new one for me. The things I love about technology in a car, that's the question. Well, it has to be GPS. Life-changing technology for me. I like to talk about life-changing technologies because of the amount of stress that life-changing technologies can eliminate. When GPS came around, it literally probably made my day-to-day life 50% less stressful. I travel a lot for my work, visiting customers and other organizations. And prior to GPS, I would have to rely on MapQuest, plan out my entire trip, print out maps. They were reliable, but it was a lot of work. And then I'll never forget when TomTom and those first early GPS devices came out, and getting one. And even though they weren't 100% reliable, especially around water, they just made time availability so much more accessible, right? And had to spend way less time planning and not worrying or thinking about where I was going, and just allowing the device to take me where I needed to go. Thank you.
I love that, Christiana. That's my favorite feature also, although hopefully everything works the way that it should, because we don't have those MapQuest maps print it out anymore like we used to. I remember years ago working at a place where the employees had to parallel park. And I was watching out my window one day, and this lady, this was in the 90s, she had this huge Lincoln Continental. So she backs in, she hits the car behind her, she straightens out, hits the car in front of her, kind of centers herself, gets out as if nothing happened. That's how she parked. That's how she made her space. Now I understand that there's cars that park themselves, that tell you when you go over a line, and can even drive themselves to a destination. What do you think about this technology? And would you ever buy a car that had this technology, or do you have a car that has it? Megan.
Okay, thank you, Anita. I love this question. As Christiana said, you know, of course I love GPS, but since I'm not driving, I don't have to worry about getting the directions right. And an automatic car would be idyllic. I mean, I could go anywhere. I mean, well, I can go anywhere now with Lyft or the bus. I could ride free, but as Christiana said, I've got to figure out the directions and how to get there. But it is just also, it is very neoteric to get in a car with no one driving. I mean, I even thought when Tommy and I were thinking, yeah, well, we'll stick our dog in there and have him look like he's the driver. But we, and yes, we have the push your car on and off, but it's not like a cockpit, but it is very neoteric. I think, well, I haven't seen many, but I think I like it.
Thank you, Megan. You know, sometimes I like the old stuff. Maybe it's just what I'm used to, but it kind of gives me security and also connection. I love the advantages of the new, but I also like to start a car with a key, turn the house lights on and off myself with a switch, use a landline of the phone where I can hear better, even write a simple note. What are your thoughts on this? Does the new technology make it easier or harder to stay connected? Tammy?
Hi, everyone. Thank you. That's an interesting question, Anita. I think it would be a combination. When I think about technology, there are so many advantages that make our life more convenient and efficient and just easier to navigate. But I'm one of those people that likes the conventional old-fashioned too. And I'll give an example of driving of a car. I have a backup camera on my car. And when I'm parallel parking, like you were talking about, Anita, I am not totally trusting of that camera. And I tend to like to use my side mirrors and my vision, my regular vision, just to make sure that I'm doing it right. And so on the one hand, I really love technology, but on the other hand, I like to lean on the old fashioned things as well. Using the word neoteric. Oh, sorry. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Tammy. I agree with you. There's the pluses and the minuses to technology. It was not that long ago that we needed film to take pictures and video. and you would take the film into the local drugstore or someplace, and they'd have to develop it and give you the pictures back. You had to wait, bring the pictures back, and you only had one roll of film. If it was a movie, it would go into scrapbooks, or you'd get the projector together and people would gather around the projector to see the movie.
Yeah.
So I love that idea, but this week when I was at my son's, I also love being able to take a zillion pictures of my grandkids and videos and send them out right away. What do you think about this technology? And do you think that we've lost the connection with this technology, or that it benefits us? Lucille?
Thank you for that question, Anita. There is definitely good side of the technology as well as the disadvantage of it. One thing is that we're able to connect with anybody all over the world. And so that is neoteric, to be able to connect instantly from people that will not otherwise. I have relatives and friends that are all over the country, and I'm able to connect them through the technology of social media. So that's the advantage. But like you said, I also like to write, especially for notes, especially with the lockdown. I always like to write a note and not just email to somebody to congratulate them on things. So technology is good because it's convenient and we can get things fast, but I also miss the personal touch of writing a thank you note, a letter, or something like that. And that's right now becoming a thing of the past. So hopefully for something that is important, that we write a note, a birthday note. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way. So I'm visiting my son, and he loves technology. And so he made his home smart, and it's smarter than I am. I get up early in the morning, have a cup of coffee, kind of quietly wake up, sitting in his living room, and all of a sudden I hear these motors going and these like little motor sounds. What is that? It never surprises me because there's always something going on. Well, all of a sudden the shades start rolling up. I'm the only one there. I'm not even near the shades. And then they start rolling up in the other room, and then the next room. Then also he has a lady that lives there. She's in his ceiling, I guess, and she tells you when the garage door is open for too long, or when you need to leave to go get the bus, or even when you go out the door. She has a really nice, patient voice. But when the kids are going in and out of the door all day, it can be kind of annoying. Angeles, do you have any smart features that you would like to see either invented or that you would like to see in your home?
Thank you, Anita. I'm still trying to get adjusted to my Google Home thing that I have at home. I don't know, it's really weird how you could just be talking about something and that thing pops up and it's like playing this song. And it's like, I didn't even ask you to play a song, you know? I think it is in this new age, it is very neoteric with all the modern solutions. I did see this article about a chimp who is being tested on, like with a neurological device, I think, which will eventually help humans with, I forgot what it was. I think it was like an illness or something. And I found that really like, what is it, astonishing. But it would be nice to use that for good. I always think that maybe things would end up being used in not the best way. I saw one movie called I forgot what the movie was called, but it was about this man who turned like small and lived in like a small town, village, whatever, his own small world. But there were workers there who were made small just to purposely work there, and they were living these really bad situations and like didn't ask for that. But other people purposely went small to like save on taxes, save on money, and you know, buy a huge home, which they couldn't do in like real life. So thank you.
I think you're right, Angelus. I think that technology is awesome and great, but we have to be careful what we do with it, because we can use it for good or for bad. How are we doing, Pat? Are we ready for another one, or how much time do I have? One more? Okay, well, this one, you know, I'm from the older generation, and I remember Sputnik, believe it or not. And in 1957, when it was launched, it was world news, and it was on all the radios. And yes, there were TVs back then on TV. And so we all would go out front at night to see if we could see it flying over. Well, of course, it was the size of a beach ball. I don't think anybody saw it. We thought we did. But now, David, my son, he put this YouTube video on that he's really excited about, and it's called SpaceX. And it's Elon Musk, and what he's doing is he'll launch something to take these satellites up, 70 satellites at a time, or just about 70. They launch, they deploy the satellites, and then they bring that ship back down onto the same landing pad. It's just pretty amazing. Let's see, Paul, what do you think we have in the future? What's coming to us in the future that we can't see yet, because technology is advancing so fast and becoming really interesting and important?
Thank you, Anita. I like to think of myself as pretty neoteric, a modern person with new ideas. But I'll tell you something that I don't like. I saw an article the other day that was talking about car ownership. And thinking about the future, the idea was that eventually we won't own our own cars. Maybe we'll just have everything as an Uber, everything as a service. You just pick up rides on your smartphone and there's your ride. And that sounds interesting to some people, but then other people don't like that idea. A lot of people like their cars. They love their cars. Their cars are an extension of themselves. So I have a small issue with that. But then the article was even more interesting because it said, if you don't own your own car and you have no ownership and some other company owns it or the government owns it, what happens if something like COVID happens and the government just decides there's no rides for anybody? We just want to keep people at home. We're shutting off the car service. And I was like, wait a minute, that's so interesting. Because during COVID, when we had our stay-at-home orders, yes, I was able to drive down to the beach. I could go on the beach, but I could drive around. But if you don't own your own car and the government confiscates the cars or says to the car services, we're not doing that, that could be a big problem. So in terms of the future, I hope that's not the case. I hope that we continue to own our own cars for our own sake.
Wow, that's really interesting, Paul. I hadn't heard of that, but you never know what can happen, do you? So I think that's it. And I'm back to you, handing it back over to you, Pat. Thank you.
Thanks, Anita. That was very enlightening. Now, can I have a table topics timers report? Stacy.
Yes, you may. I'm putting my background back. I believe everyone qualified except I think Angelus was a minute 52. That's qualified as over, isn't it? That counts as over. Is it 1:45? I'm having trouble with timing today.
Yeah. So okay,
That one's over.
Angelus disqualified. Can I have a grammarian report? Did everyone say the word of the day?
Everyone said the word of the day. Yes.
Awesome. And now we can you can just keep in mind who you want to vote for the table topics speaker. May we have a counters report from Tammy?
Hi, Pat. Thank you. Our two speakers, Devin and Angel, both of you did awesome. Both had really great pauses when they were speaking, and I caught just a couple of so's and a but for both of you. Anita, a few ums. Christiana, a couple of ahs. Megan, a couple of buts. Angelus, a few ums. And on the most part, everyone else was smooth. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a grammarian report from Paul, please?
Sure. Some really interesting uses of language today. Devin, I liked mentor character and storytelling techniques. Angel, alien and super nanny. Those are pretty cool. Jerry, personal take. Anita, Sputnik. Boy, that's a fun word. I haven't heard Sputnik in a while. Christiana said life-changing technologies. Lucille says the personal touch of writing. And Angela said neurological. I can't even read my own writing here. It was neurological something, and I'm sure it was good. So good job.
All right, thank you, Paul. And now it's time for our general evaluator report from Lucille.
Thank you, Pat. Good job. We started on time, and we also had a little computer technology issue, which is good that we're talking about technology, as a matter of fact. But as a general evaluator, I'm to comment on the evaluators, and both evaluators did an excellent job following the way to evaluate the positive points and then the shortcomings, and then follow it up with positive points again. So that's a sandwich technique, and they both did. What I like about what their evaluation is, they were specific. They give specific on the positive side and also specific on the challenges that the speaker might have. And one good thing is both of them gave a specific things that they can improve upon on their speeches, following speeches, or when they go talk again. Sorry, I'm having a little hard time speaking. Both evaluator did an excellent job, and it's very good for them to give those kind of examples to the speaker, so that, because we are here to improve ourselves, and those are very effective way of giving an evaluation back, feedback. So thank you both for both of you. Paul, Pat, good job as a Toastmaster. Anita, wonderful table topics. I really enjoy your table topics every time. And all the functionaries, thank you for stepping up, and good job, everybody. I always enjoy our Zoom meeting and also our in-person meeting. And back to you, Pat.
All right. All right. Okay. Thank you, Lucille. I'll try to get it rolling to get us out on time. The winner for best speaker is, or first I'll go with the table topics, is Megan. All right. And best evaluator, Jerry. All right. And the best speaker, Devin. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I enjoyed leading the meeting, and technology, it takes a lot of determination to get through that. So thanks, and I'll now return the control to the president. I'll pull up the
Yeah, you
sheet.
can do that too while I'm talking. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Pat, for stepping up to be Toastmaster in the middle of the week, and awesome again, table topics. And let's see, I'm not using my computer, so Pat's helping me out. Next week, we have Lucille as Toastmaster, Paul as Table Topics Master, and Charles as speaker number 1, and the rest is all open. So chime in and tell me what spots you guys want to take?
I can be evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat.
I will be remote, so I won't be able to make it. This is Tammy. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Tammy.
I'm leaving town too Friday, so I won't be at the meeting. Somebody needs, since this is live next week, we need somebody to take the boxes.
Hey, you know what? It is Memorial Day weekend, huh?
Oh,
So do we normally meet on the Friday before Memorial Day weekend? Or should we take it off?
We usually don't, it's up to you guys. We usually don't take off on that day, but if everybody doesn't want to do it that day, or I was thinking maybe we should have our own little Memorial Day celebration. It's up to you.
That sounds better.
I'm actually not going to be in too. I'll be in a different state.
So we can push it.
It sounds like nobody's going to be here.
Be there.
Yeah, we can push it if you want.
Okay, so when you say push it, what do you mean by push it?
Well, just like look at the next week. Everybody, there's nothing for that week, so just push everybody down a week.
Okay, so are you saying that we should not meet then on Friday? Because not enough people, not enough.
That would be my take, but I don't know.
Let's do that. Is that okay, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
We just need to
That's fine.
check with Charles to see if he has childcare for that day, the 4th.
Okay, I'll check
Right.
I'll check with him.
But the 4th, we are meeting on Zoom.
The 4th, we are meeting on Zoom.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a week, just push it back. Basically, we're not meeting next week. Holiday.
Yeah.
I'll just transfer the names to the 4th.
Yeah, just copy and paste. So we still need speaker number 2 and evaluator and
So the 4th, we're meeting on Zoom.
yes.
We're having election on that day too as well, don't we, Deanna?
We're gonna have election that day too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to save our new microphone and portable speaker system until the 11th now. I have it. It's sitting here right in the box.
Oh, man.
All right. Who's gonna sing?
Hey, that's 2 weeks to prepare for a speech, you guys. Somebody could do speaker number 2.
All right.
I'll do the speaker for the 4th.
Okay, awesome, Angelus.
Angelus.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.
For the 4th, I'll do evaluator or grammarian. Anita.
Thank you,
Either
Anita.
one.
All right. Thanks, Anita.
Okay, grammarian and I'll counter. General evaluator.
I'll be grammarian. It's Christiana.
Christiana,
right.
thank you, Christiana.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Devin, I can take any of the open ones.
me too, Stacy.
Who was that, Stacy?
Yes.
Stacy and Devin.
Okay. Right on. We're filled.
Awesome job. Thanks. And if we can get a quick picture. Joke master, anybody? Anybody? Just one more spot. Please.
I can do 2 things.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. That will make the Toastmasters job so much easier.
Thanks, you guys. Fantastic.
All right.
Okay. We'll do a quick picture and let's do our wave. Like everyone are clapping.
I had to get my hair cut for, I donated it. So
That, you look
I'm trying.
Okay. Are we done? Okay, good, thanks. If I had my computer, I would be putting a real big check mark on Devin, and that's a completion of level 2, you guys. Woohoo! And also a big check mark for Angel for starting her icebreaker. Awesome job, you guys. So did anybody have any questions about officer positions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
My phone has been weird. I don't know if you messaged me back, but I just wanted more information about it, maybe, possibly, depending on my schedule.
Okay, all right.